What's up, everybody? I'm glad you're here. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kevin. I live in Colorado with my wife Megan. She's a travel agent, and it is our hope to be financially free by the age of 45. Investing in real estate is one of the best ways to do that. So this video is dedicated to help you get started. Megan and I have our first investment property, and we're in the process of saving for our second one. Our first investment property was actually our first home. We bought it, lived there for 4 years. Then when we moved to this current house, we just rented out that house. Our mortgage on that house is $1,800 a month, and we currently have it rented for $2,600 a month. But get this, our mortgage on this place is $2,600 a month. So that basically means that we own 2 houses for the same monthly cost that it took us to own 1 home. 2 for the price of 1. I'm telling you, real estate is a powerful wealth building tool. So here's how to do it. The first thing you need to do is decide whether or not you're going to buy the property to live in it and rent out your current home, or if it's going to be an investment property. Here's why that's important. If it's going to be an investment property, your down payment has to be 20% of the purchase price, and you're going to have a slightly higher interest rate. If you are going to live in the property as your primary residence, you can put as little as 3.5% down, and you'll have a better interest rate. So if you're looking at a $300,000 house as an investment property, you're gonna have to put down 20%, which is 60 grand. That can deter most people from even starting to save for an investment property. But if you only have to put 3.5% down, you only have to put down $10,500. That makes it so much more achievable. The second thing you're gonna wanna do is go to Zillow and look up rental rates in your area. Go to Zillow, pull up a map, and from the drop-down menu, select For Rent. If you're gonna be renting out your current house, look at what similar homes are renting for. If it's more than your current mortgage, ding, ding, ding. When you rent it out, you're just gonna pocket the difference. If you're wanting an investment property, find a property that you think will be a good rental, and then plug all of the info into mortgagecalculator.org. Make sure to include HOA fees, property taxes, at least a 20% down payment, and then a higher interest rate on what pre-fills in that text box. I would add probably like 2% to whatever mortgagecalculator.org puts in that pre-filled text box. We're not really looking for exact numbers at this point, we just want a ballpark. Then once you click calculate, it's gonna spit out a monthly payment for that property. Compare that number to rental rates in the area, and if your monthly payment is lower than what the rent goes for in the area, then you might have a winner. But if your monthly payment is higher, then it's probably not the right property, or your area just might be too expensive to invest in. But let's assume that the numbers do make sense, and you're ready to move on to step number 3, which is meeting with a lender. Now, this is important. You want a teammate as a lender, not a customer service rep. So I would caution you against companies like Rocket Mortgage or any other online lender. I've had clients use them before in the past. Some have not gone well, and others have been just fine. But this will be one of the most expensive purchases you'll ever make in your life. So it would behoove you to find someone who's local and ideally has investment properties of their own. You'll fill out the lender's application, they'll do a credit check, and at this point they can run actual numbers for you on properties that you're interested in. 2 things to be aware of here if you are moving and keeping your current house as a rental. 1, you'll have to qualify for both houses, or you'll need a signed lease from your old property that officially shows that you have renters moving in. That process gets a little tricky, so we won't talk about it on this video, but just be prepared for that. It's not a big deal. People do it all the time. We did it on ours. You just might feel a little bit in limbo because you might not be able to get a signed lease agreement before you actually find a house to move into. So if you're in that situation and have questions, drop it in the comments. I'll do my best to help. The other thing to be aware of, especially if this is the first house you're buying, the lender will probably approve you to buy way more house than is fiscally responsible. Just because you get approved for this much doesn't mean you should come anywhere near that amount. Run the numbers, make sure they make sense. Okay, that's all the prep work. At this point, you're ready to put some boots on the ground. Find a realtor and go look at properties. Same thing as finding a lender. Find a realtor that knows your local market and ideally has investment properties of their own. If you'll be moving into the property, remember that you're not looking for your dream home at this point. The goal would be to repeat this process again and again. So find a house that would be a good rental property in the future. For those of you guys out there with a wife that has standards in the house that she wants, this might be a little difficult. We ended up moving into a new construction home, but we do feel like this will be a good rental property in the future. So make sure that you're on the same page with your spouse before you start down this track. Now, it'll probably take a few offers before you get one accepted, but eventually you will. You'll go through the escrow process, and before you know it, you'll have your first investment property. And like I said before, this is a repeatable process. So can you imagine if you did this every 2 years? In 10 years, you'd have 5 houses paying you every month, appreciating in value, and you're having someone else pay down your mortgage on each of those 5 properties. It's a win-win-win. So we follow those exact steps when we're looking for a house. The only thing that's different is I have my real estate license, so it helps us streamline that final step of the process. If you've got questions or want a deeper dive into this stuff, let me know in the comments. And if you've made it this far in the video and you're not subscribed yet, it would make my day if you would consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.